Tricia Redfern. I am the primary core lead of the Sheffield SCITT, and I am also assistant head at St Catherine's Primary School. The Sheffield SCITT is owned and operated by Notre Dame High School, and we offer school-centred initial teacher training for both primary and secondary trainees. The Sheffield SCITT is owned and operated by Notre Dame High School. Our initial teacher training work is designed to be delivered by outstanding practitioners, outstanding teachers who work with children every day, and we believe that is our unique selling point. We are one of the 3 accrediting bodies of qualified teacher status in Sheffield, and where Notre Dame High School are our secondary hub, St Catherine's in Burngreave in Sheffield is our primary hub. So why did we start the Sheffield SCITT? St Catherine's Catholic Primary School is in Burngreave in Sheffield, which is an economically deprived part of Sheffield. And we recognise that for ourselves and other schools in the surrounding area, it was a challenge to recruit and retain high quality teachers. It really did depend on where they trained to teach, and it determined how ready they were, if you like, for their NQT year. Some were absolutely ready to go, others required a lot more mentoring and support and additional training. So we decided to embark on our own teacher training so that we could almost grow our own teachers, if you like, so that they then gain employment within our schools in Sheffield and the surrounding areas. One of the successes of the Sheffield SCITT is that many of our partnership schools do employ our trainees simply because they are established in the school and they've had an incredibly successful training year, and you know, they want their NQTs to hit the ground running, so they would absolutely choose our trainees above others. And St Catherine's alone, at St Catherine's alone, 12 of our 14 classroom teachers have come through the Sheffield SCITT and have then gone on to become mentors and then lead mentors and members of the senior leadership team. So it really does kind of lead to excellent career progression as well. Just a reminder to everybody watching that this presentation is being recorded and will be shared on social media later today. So please, if you've got any questions, save them until the end of the presentation, or please write them in the comment section when it is posted onto our Sheffield SCITT Facebook page. So just an outline of this virtual open day. So we'll speak a little bit about the rewards of teaching, about life as a teacher, the qualities of a great teacher, what teaching schools are all about and what SCITTs are all about, our approach to initial teacher training, and a little bit about the structure of our course. And then we'll talk a little bit about applying for a place on our ITT programme, interviews, and then funding support. As I'm sure many of you are aware, the core role of being a teacher is planning and delivering lessons, assessing children's progress, managing other adults in the classroom, enabling all pupils to reach their academic potential and to flourish in our schools. But one of the key parts of the role is the pastoral side, ensuring that children are safe at all times, ensuring that we care for children and build positive relationships with them that they can take forward into their later life, to ensure that we educate and develop the whole child, so that they have the skills necessary to take forward into secondary school and beyond. And that's a really critical part of the teaching role. Another important part of the teaching role is that you will work in partnership with so many stakeholders. So that includes parents, other agencies, and this is really important to ensure that we give our children the very best education possible and to address any barriers that some of our pupils might have to learning, including those pupils with special educational needs. As a teacher, you are part of a team. So it's not just about delivering lessons in your classroom, it's about delivering that wider curriculum and that wider role that you play within the school, from being on yard duty to taking part in extracurricular clubs after school, to going on school trips and school residentials, staying for parents' evenings, staying for the school productions, open nights. This job really is a vocation. It's certainly not 9 to 5, and there are demands outside of the normal school day. However, what I would do is, regardless of your circumstances, whether you've got children at home, whether you're just out of university, if you're passionate about teaching, I would really encourage you to apply to us, because people find a way to manage their day themselves. They find a way to organise and plan their time so that they can also deal with the other demands of their own lives. So what are the qualities of a great teacher? Of course, academic knowledge of your subject or the subjects that you will teach at primary is very important. Knowledge about education in general and knowing what is happening in the educational environment at the moment is always a benefit. One of the most important parts of being a teacher is being a gifted communicator. So understanding a mathematical concept yourself is very different to being able to communicate that to young children. So being able to communicate learning with an infectious enthusiasm is a vital part. Being able to show how learning for yourself makes you excited and encouraging scholarship and a love of learning in children is a real gift. You've got to be passionate about children's learning and their progress. You've got to want to ensure that every child makes progress and every child achieves their potential within your classroom. And it's also important that you understand the school system, how good schools are run, how good teachers operate, and how your role as a classroom practitioner fits into that bigger picture. You've got to have skills to work with all children and communicate with all children effectively, regardless of their needs or their skills, knowledge, gifts. So that's got to be at the right level. You've got to provide the right amount of scaffolding and support and challenge for those different groups of learners. So that might include children who are gifted and talented, children who have a special educational need, children who have English as an additional language. Another really important quality of being an effective teacher is being a reflective learner. As part of the course, you will be given feedback regularly from your mentor. You will be given constructive criticism to enable you to improve your practice. And with that is the need for you to be resilient and have stamina. There will be times of stress and where workload increases. So it's good to be able to cope with that at times throughout the year, and also to be able to work as a team. I would encourage all teachers to be organised, plan ahead, and to ultimately have their moral purpose rooted in being there to serve children, parents, and one another. So the other rewards of teaching are that as a new teacher in South Yorkshire, you will start on a minimum salary of £24,000. We are still accepting applicants for our training for September 2020. Not only do you have a starting salary of £24,000, but leadership salaries can reach in excess of £80,000. Since school academisation, many schools now have the freedom to develop their own pay policies to attract and retain the best possible teachers for their pupils and those that have the greatest impact on pupil progress. So quite often teachers' pay progression is based on their performance and not based on their length of service, meaning that you can have a direct impact on your salary and how quickly you move up that pay scale. Generally, there are 39 term time weeks and 13 holiday weeks. There is a requirement for teachers to do some work in the holidays, whether that be to plan lessons for the term ahead, whether that be to spend some time in school preparing the classroom and preparing resources. But we absolutely advocate a healthy work-life balance, and we want you to spend much of that 13 weeks recharging and relaxing so that you can be the best teacher you can be during term time. The Sheffield SCITT, as I mentioned previously, is owned and operated by Notre Dame High School, which is a teaching school. So what are teaching schools? They are given a role to lead the education system. They are outstanding schools and they lead alliances or groups of schools, including other strong schools, and become strategic partners, and they share their good practice with other schools in their locality. That might be schools who requires improvement or special measures according to Ofsted gradings. There will soon be 900 teaching schools across the country, and Sheffield has 7 of those. Notre Dame was among the first 100 to be designated in 2011. So I've mentioned a couple of these points already, but the role of the teaching school is to identify and coordinate expertise within their alliance. So if there is a particular member of staff who has a particular skill in maths and another school might have an area of weakness in maths, then we would identify and coordinate that expert going into that school to support the staff within that school. It's a great team to be a part of because you are continually developing professionally and sharing good practice across schools so that all pupils within our region get the best possible educational opportunities. We are obviously involved in training new entrants into the profession. We do lots of peer-to-peer professional leadership support and development. We spot leadership potential and provide other support for schools, and we broker specialist leaders in education. So that is those experts in a particular field who can go out and support others. And all of this is rooted in educational research and development, and we are at the heart of what is going on in the educational landscape. Just a reminder that this presentation is being recorded to be later shared on social media. If you have any questions, if you want to leave them until the end of the presentation or when it's posted onto our Sheffield SCITT Facebook page, please write any questions that you might have in the comments section and I will get back to you, or a member of our team will get back to you as soon as possible. So what is a SCITT? SCITT is school-centred initial teacher training. Some teaching schools have developed initial teacher training so far that they have been accredited in their own right to be able to award qualified teacher status. So these SCITTs have written their own programme for initial teacher training and they award their trainees with qualified teacher status. They have their own allocation of training places as directed from the NCTL, just like a university would. And many choose to partner with the university to bring in university accreditation, whether that be a PGCE, PGC, PGD, or master's credits to their courses, but they are free to work with who they want and how they want to. Here are some images of Notre Dame, our secondary hub, and St Catherine's, our primary hub. Again, if you have any questions, if you could leave them until the end of the presentation or type them into the comments section on our Sheffield SCITT Facebook page when this is uploaded later today. So our approach to initial teacher training. We believe that the best place to train to teach is in school with children being trained by outstanding practitioners. We put incredible emphasis on the quality of training that we provide to our trainees. But what we also do is recognise that our trainees spend every day with their mentor. Being an outstanding classroom practitioner is very different to being an outstanding mentor. So we want to take those outstanding classroom practitioners and we want to develop their mentoring skills. We want to support them in giving effective feedback. We want to support them in helping you to co-plan with them. We want to support them in identifying your strengths and your areas for development so that they develop as a mentor and you get the best support possible throughout your training year. We also value master's level study, which is delivered by universities, but is in addition to achieving qualified teacher status and is assessed separately and almost runs parallel to the qualified teacher status. That's why we offer a unique ITT program for our region with a flexible QTS course and a flexible PGC Masters accreditation that links to your early career development. In a nutshell, this means that you can choose either qualified teacher status route only or qualified teacher status route with PGC Masters accreditation also. The mentor, who is the classroom teacher where you will be based and complete your teaching practices, won't just tell you what to do, they will show you what to do. They will model their expertise, they will model how to teach, and you will be immersed in all aspects of school life. You will be seen as an important member of the school team from day one. You will be introduced to the children as another classroom teacher. You won't be a trainee visiting a placement school for a few weeks who will come and go. We want you to be a part of the school team just as much as any other member of staff. During the interview process, there will be the opportunity for you to let us know about any location preferences of placement schools, any particular school preferences, and any key stage preferences. And then placements are allocated late June. All of our schools are good and outstanding and are based in Sheffield, Doncaster, Rotherham, and Barnsley. So this page of the presentation summarises much of what I've already said, but also there is some additional information in here as well. So as I've mentioned, you can choose the QTS only route or the PGC with QTS route. You will be supported by your mentor, who will be the class teacher in the classroom where you complete your teaching practices, and you are introduced as a member of the school team. You will also be allocated a lead mentor who will come to visit you during each of the 3 assessed teaching practices and ensure that the quality of support that you receive is the best we offer. You will also be asked to come to St Catherine's every Tuesday afternoon for what we call hub session input. These hub sessions are to give you subject-specific knowledge, because as a primary practitioner, you teach many different subjects, but also to learn about pedagogy, which is how children learn. So you will be learning how children learn. The programme begins with looking at behaviour management, classroom presence. It then moves into looking at planning individual lessons, planning units of work, looking at how to support pupils with special educational needs, supporting pupils with English as an additional language, and then later in the year, subject-specific skills and knowledge input, for example, history, geography, art, DT, and so on and so forth. These sessions are delivered throughout the year by experts in their field. Jonathan Lear is our deputy here at St Catherine's, and he is also a consultant for education across the country. He's written 2 books in education, and he delivers many of the early sessions to our SCITT trainees. We also pull expertise from across the city to give you the very best possible training. Those Tuesday afternoon hub sessions are also great for you to get together with other trainee teachers to share good practice, to share successes, to support one another through challenges. And because I am based here at St Catherine's, I go into those hub sessions every Tuesday afternoon. And again, I want to hear about your successes. I want to support you through those challenging times. And the team is so supportive that you leave those sessions feeling empowered and ready to face the next day in school. So this is a little bit about the structure of our course and how it's organised really. So you will spend the vast majority of the year in what we call your home school in a preferred key stage. So that might be key stage 1 in year 1 or 2, or key stage 2 in year 3, 4, 5 or 6. Here you will complete 2 teaching practices. You will also spend 9 weeks in an alternate school in an alternate key stage where you will complete 1 formally assessed teaching practice. 3 formally assessed teaching practices across the year. You will begin on the 1st of September in your home school. We also offer opportunities for you to have other shorter placements during your training year. We offer a 2-week enhancement placement where you could attend an educational setting that is of interest to you for those 2 weeks. So that might be a special school, that might be a pupil referral unit, that could be a hospital school, it could be a forest school. So something that piques your interest, we would encourage you to organise your own placement for those 2 weeks towards the end of your training year. We also offer several days training in EYFS and Key Stage 3 so that you can learn where the children come from before they enter the primary age phase and where they go to when they leave year 6 and move on to secondary school. As I've already mentioned, we have the half-day hub sessions per week at St Catherine's on a Tuesday afternoon. Unfortunately, we don't offer a part-time option, and you will be assessed against the teaching standards during each teaching practice. Here is a list of some of our partnership schools. Just a reminder that this presentation is being recorded and will be shared on social media later today on our Facebook page. If you have any questions, if you could save them until the end of the presentation or wait until the presentation is uploaded onto the Sheffield SCITT Facebook page, and please write any questions in the comments section and myself or one of our team members will get back to you as soon as possible. So why choose the Sheffield SCITT? It is a 100% school-based training programme. You will be immersed into school life and experienced all there is to experience of being a primary school teacher. Over 90% of our trainees from last year gained contracts of employment as classroom teachers by the September after they'd completed the course. Many gain employment within our partnership schools where they have become established and where they have built brilliant relationships with pupils and staff. And as I mentioned previously, here at St Catherine's, I think it's actually 12 now of our full-time class teachers came through the Sheffield SCITT and have become mentors. So many of our mentors have come through the SCITT and are fantastically placed to provide you with the best possible support and training throughout your ITT year. Just to reiterate the qualifications that you gain with us. So we offer 2 routes. One is QTS only, Qualified Teacher Status only, and the second is PGC in partnership with Hull University. Just to let you know that there is no requirement for you to attend seminars or lectures at Hull University. Hull University tutors and lecturers will come to us here at St Catherine's 3 times during your training year to explain the content of the 2 assignments that you will write. We work in collaboration with Hull University because we felt that they support and what you will be doing in the classroom. So the 2 assignments that you complete are very much based on active research and classroom practice, and it doesn't take you away from that 100% school-based offer that we want for our trainees. Here is a list of the subjects that we offer at the Sheffield SCITT. Hi, I think we've had someone join us. Thank you for joining us this morning for our open event online. Just to let you know, we are quite a way through the presentation at the moment, but please, if you stay on after the end of the presentation, feel free to ask any questions at that point. Just to remind everyone that this presentation is being recorded and will be uploaded onto Facebook later today. So if you would like to turn off your camera, that would be great. So just going back to the subjects that we offer, at primary we offer a general primary, and we also offer general primary with maths. So if after this open event you would like further information, please don't hesitate to ask us any questions. Search for the Sheffield SCITT online for further information, and you can apply via UCAS. We are still open for applications for trainees to start in September 2020, and then in October 2020 UCAS will open for applications for a September 2021 start. We encourage applicants to use their personal statements to show us why they're likely to become a great teacher and to pull on the experiences that they have had of working with young people. It might be that you haven't had direct experience of working in a primary school, but perhaps you've been a youth leader or something similar. So please draw on those experiences. At primary, we offer 1 bursary, which is for primary with mathematics candidates. This £6,000 bursary is available to applicants who have a 2-2 degree or above and also have a grade B or above at A level or equivalent in maths. I'll just talk you through the interview process and what we expect of our candidates. So there will be a literacy and a maths subject knowledge audit. We use this as a diagnostic tool and not to determine whether or not candidates are offered a place on the course. The purpose of this diagnostic tool is to identify any gaps in knowledge which potential trainees would benefit from skills and knowledge enhancement courses before the start of their training year, so that they can gen up on those kind of gaps in knowledge or things that they've perhaps been out of practice with over the last few years. We ask that our candidates deliver a 10-minute maths lesson to 30 pupils. And what we're looking for within that session is that you are able to communicate effectively with children, and that you've thought about an activity or a short lesson that is applicable or appropriate to that year group. You will then have a group discussion with other candidates based on an article that you will be asked to read about recent developments in education. You will be asked to write a reflection on the lesson that you have delivered that morning, thinking about the gains or the benefits of the lesson, thinking about what you would do differently if you were given the opportunity to deliver that lesson again. And then you will have a formal interview, individual interview, where you will be asked formal questions, and then you will be given the opportunity to ask any questions yourself and let us know about any preferences that you have in terms of key stages, in terms of locations, or particular schools that we work in partnership with that you would like to have a placement with. So how can you prepare? Sorry, I'm just going to go back there. It might be worth saying at this point, obviously, due to recent circumstances with COVID-19, we are interviewing differently, and those interviews take place remotely via Zoom. But we can, if you are interested in applying for a September 2020 start and you are interested in more information, please send me an email or ask a question at the end of the presentation. So how can you prepare for your application? So if you can gain additional work experience in schools, that would be beneficial, but don't worry if you can't do that. If you have friends or relatives or colleagues who are teachers themselves, then ask them about the role and current educational policies. We would encourage you to read educational press, for example, the Times Educational Supplements, Schools Week, Secondary Education if you're interested in secondary, and any educational blogs and Twitter are always good to kind of gather further information. Do form your own opinions and be prepared to share them, and also consider if your opinions would suit the ethos of the system or the school that you want to teach in. You will receive a letter inviting you to interview, and that will give you all of the information that you need in order to prepare effectively, and it will also let you know if there's anything that you need to bring along to your interview, for example, certificates to prove your GCSE grades and your degree. If you don't understand anything or you're not sure what is expected of you, please make contact with us and we can clarify anything. If you've got questions, please don't be afraid to ask us. After the interview, successful applicants will be informed by email and UCAS will be updated. Successful applicants will be invited to a pre-course induction event. If you are interested in starting for September 2020, this is likely to be a virtual event held in July 2020. We will also let you know of any pre-reading that would be beneficial to you before the training begins. The next couple of slides, or this slide, sorry, has information about funding. If you want to have a read through that, and if you have any additional questions on course funding, please don't hesitate to drop me an email or email our admin team. At the end of the presentation, those email addresses will be available for you to jot down. It does mention on this slide, as well as the tax-free bursaries and scholarships information, that one of the greatest advantages of our course is the fact that you build up your timetable very gradually. We do not expect you to be able to plan and deliver lessons the day that you come into school. We give you 6 weeks at the very beginning of the course to get to know the class, get to know the systems and the policies and procedures in the school, to get to know your mentor, to work with children. We will ask you during that 6-week period to take control of the class for very short lengths of time, for example, to take the register, to read a story, to bring them in off the yard calmly after lunchtime. By week 4, we ask that you deliver 1 lesson planned and resourced by your mentor. And we very much go at your pace. We appreciate that people have very different experiences before coming into ITT, and that some people have been HLTAs for a long period of time. Others might have spent a couple of weeks in a primary school. So we will provide you with the right level of support for you. The next few slides are quotes from current trainees, recent trainees, and trainees from previous years who have gone on to become mentors and lead mentors with the Sheffield SCITT. So I'll just give you a couple of minutes to read through these quotes, just so that you can have some first-hand views on our training course. I apologise if you can hear my emails dinging from time to time. Please remember that we are available to take questions at the end of the presentation, and this presentation is being recorded and will be uploaded onto the Sheffield SCITT Facebook page later today. So please feel free to add any questions to the comments section, and myself or a member of our team will get back to you as soon as possible. So that's the end of our primary open event, our first live primary open event. Thank you so much for listening and being involved. Again, I've said it many times, but if you've got any questions after I've ended the presentation, please feel free to ask them. Keep in touch with us. We are a small and incredibly friendly provider. We're happy to support individuals through each stage of their journey to becoming a teacher. So please don't hesitate to get in touch with us via email. My email address is at the bottom of the screen there, tredfern@stcatharines.academy. If you have any questions specifically related to funding, bursaries, etc., if you want to email admin@sheffieldscitt.org.uk. Equally, if you have any questions about your qualifications and whether there is anything you need to do before you begin the training course, please email the admin team as well. Please look at our Sheffield SCITT website and on our Twitter feed, and also the Sheffield SCITT Facebook page. Thank you very much, everyone. Hi, Charlotte.
Hi.
I'm just going to make sure that I am